I think the Los Angeles Lakers are the scariest team in basketball for a number of reasons. Key thing when I say scariest, scary because I don't know what I'm getting on a night-to-night basis. And also scary because if I get what I'm expecting to get on a night-to-night basis, it's ugly for the rest of the NBA. I want to break down their game against the Timberwolves. You know, they were down in the first half, ended up coming back, ended up winning this game pretty comfortably. And some key things I want to talk about. First, let's look at the stats. AD, 38 and 17, 17 in the fourth quarter. If he can keep playing like this, and we keep saying if he can keep playing like this, everyone's saying it. You know, AD can give you 5 and 5, and then he can give you 50 and 10, 50 and 15. So now, how does he maintain this level of play? And one thing I want to say about AD that's pretty frustrating, watching the game from dribble to dribble, he falls so much. I don't understand it. He can come down with a rebound, slip. He can pass the ball, slip. Go up with a layup, slip. It's like you don't want to just call people clumsy, but it's like he falls unnecessarily. He's just always falling, always on the ground. And he even dropped down, I think that was in the third or fourth quarter, and he was holding his ankle. He came back in and dominated that fourth quarter, but it was still a scare. It's just, I don't know. You know, I never know what I'm going to get with AD because he's always falling, always looks to be hurt. And for Darvin Ham, it has to be pretty concerning. You have to be on edge. I'm wondering, you know, okay, do I need to play AD here? Okay, is he hurt? What's going on with AD? Is he going to perform like I'm expecting him to perform? But last night he did it. A great game, got to the free throw line. One thing I do want to say, though, is when the Lakers get to the playoffs, I need to see them make a little bit more free throws. They shot 80% last night, which isn't terrible, but it can still, you know, be raised as far as what we're talking about in the playoffs. Now let's get to some other people. Jared Vanderbilt, he's the key as far as defense. Watching this team, they don't have a lot of great defenders, but he's one of the top tier defenders in the NBA. He can guard on the perimeter, he can guard in the paint, he does it all. And really looking at last night, he was on Karl Towns, he was on Anthony Edwards, he was on everybody that scored points for the Minnesota Timberwolves. But it's funny to note because they couldn't stop Mike Conley. You would have thought that Mike Conley was on the Memphis Grizzlies again. The way he was performing last night, D'Lo couldn't guard him. Austin Reeves couldn't guard him. He was getting and ones. He even got a 4-point play, getting 3-pointers. So that's interesting to talk about. Now, LeBron James, the big guy everybody's talking about, only scored 18 points, 7 for 19, a pretty average game by LeBron standards. He didn't have a great shooting night. He made some solid passes, but we expect, you know, we want the scoring, but we still got to remember LeBron, he just came back. So he has to get back into that flow, back into that rhythm. And overall, I think when I talk about this Lakers team, it's the bench. Is the bench going to consistently play basketball night in and night out? Because I know I got Dennis Schroeder. I know I got Malik Beasley. He made a couple threes. Last night he made 3 threes. But sometimes he's extremely inefficient from the 3-point line. And he's one of those streaky guys. Can get hot, can also get very cold. So also, what am I going to get from Troy Brown? It's just those type of guys when we get into the playoffs. I really need to see what I'm going to get from them. Because I know, you know, I don't want to bet against LeBron. I can guarantee that in the playoffs, AD should be the leading scorer, but LeBron's going to be right there neck and neck. Austin Reeves probably going to average somewhere around 15 to 17. I know D'Lo's going to get it going. He's going to get the assist. Jared Vanderbilt's going to be the defense. And I like that starting lineup that they came out with. They came out with Reeves, Russell, James, Vanderbilt, and Davis. And also we see that Troy Brown's not in that starting lineup no more. That's pretty interesting. I think he can mix and match with Austin Reeves. But key thing that we really need to focus in on is where is that bench production going to come from? Is Dennis Schroeder going to step up? Is Troy Brown going to step up? Is Rui Hachimura, a guy that I like, play some nice defense, can shoot the 3? Is he going to step up? I don't know. But I think on a night-to-night basis, it has to be one of those guys. Malik Beasley, you know, he's on Darvin Ham's. Sometimes he's on the leash, and sometimes he's the guy that he wants out there the most. So it depends if that 3-point shot is hitting. We got to see that. Now, going over to the Timberwolves, because, like I said, they were winning in the first half, and I kind of know what the Timberwolves are at this point. It's just, I watch the Timberwolves, and I say that's a young team. They turn over the ball, they go on great runs, and then they give up great runs. The defense lacks sometimes, and then the shots that they take. They took some real ill-advised shots in that second half, and I want to, because even Anthony Edwards didn't have a big game. Like I said, Mike Conley was really the guy, along with Karl Towns. Didn't really have an answer for Karl Towns. He was balling, he was getting to the line a little bit, but now let's look at it. Mike Conley went 7 for 11. Karl Towns went 8 for 18, 5 for 5 from the three-point line. Even Jaden McDaniels, and Jaden McDaniels is a nice guy. I'm glad that they didn't trade him at the trade deadline. I know his value's pretty high, tall guy, 3-and-D, and I think there's more to be had for him offensively. If we really look at it, he can get to the lane pretty solid. His three-pointer is nice. So now we got him. He's basically the Jarred Vanderbilt of this Timberwolves team. And Jarred Vanderbilt can't shoot the ball like McDaniels. You probably say McDaniels is a better scorer, but as far as all around what we're trying to get, as far as that spark plug, adding that defense, I think the comparison is there to be made. Rudy Gobert, I think he's just a 7-footer that runs around and takes up space. And now Taurean Prince, Kyle Anderson, slow-mo, had a pretty solid game. But let's look at this. And I want you to follow me here as I get to this, because that third quarter is where the shift came. And right about up in here, when we see it was 58-70, LeBron James makes tip shot. Jaden McDaniels misses a three. And this is really where the run came, because they were down by 12, and as we can see, down by 11, still down by 12. And now, when they start to chip away at this deficit, Anthony Davis making a shot. This is the third quarter right here, and the lead, it starts to chip. So what are the plays that are happening in between this run? Because this was really what turned the game. Like I said, I thought the Timberwolves would win, but kind of knowing the Timberwolves by now, I can't really trust them like I want to, because it's been the same thing last season. You add Mike Conley, I thought that veteran presence would take this team to the next step. That's why I like that fit for them better than D'Angelo Russell. But it's just, I don't know what the missing piece is in Minnesota. I think they have the players. I think they have a solid bench. Naz Reid is out with the wrist injury, but I like Taurean Prince. I like those guys. Kyle Anderson. They have a team. But you think about it, and the West is so stacked, so that could be part of the reasoning. But at a certain point, you got to have the team, and you got to step up and win big. So now, like I said, it was down. They were down 10. And then when they chipped away, D'Angelo Russell made a 6-foot 2-point shot, and then they continued to chip away. As we can see right here, Anthony Edwards missing a shot. Mike Conley missing a shot. And then D'Angelo Russell made another shot. So when this lead went away, and it was a pretty close game up into that fourth quarter. So now we look at it, they're down by 7 at the end of the third quarter. And this is really where it gets interesting to me, because Rudy Gobert went out, and that's kind of where things turned around for the Los Angeles Lakers, because Anthony Davis went on to continue scoring. Karl Towns can't guard Anthony Davis. Rudy Gobert, he was scoring on Rudy Gobert too, but Rudy Gobert put up a better fight. And I think now this was a solid win. But overall, if I really had to gauge this as far as what we're taking and what we're looking at as a long-term, effect for this team, they got 5 games left. And I don't know what I'm going to get out the Los Angeles Lakers next game. They play the Houston Rockets. As much as I want to guarantee that should be an easy win, the Houston Rockets, sometimes they decide to play basketball. Sometimes they decide we're not 22-23. So that's going to be a game that they still got to come out sharp and still play. Now let's look at this. Let's look at the seedings, because there is a way that the Los Angeles Lakers can make the 6th seed. And the key thing for the Lakers, I think they have to. I don't want to play the Memphis Grizzlies in round 1. So now this is where we really get into it. This is a pretty tricky, confusing standings. Now look at it. We see the Lakers are 39-38. We see that the Timberwolves are 39-39. So being that half game ahead of the Timberwolves is the key, because the Timberwolves own the clinch over the Los Angeles Lakers. The Pelicans are really an oddball in this kind of thing, having that weird situation. But now, if the Lakers can win out And truly, they don't have to win out. Like I said, you don't want to really play the Memphis Grizzlies, but you could still find yourself, they're going to be in a play-in tournament. I think it's pretty safe to say that. So now it's all about trying to get out of it. And if the Golden State Warriors continue to lose, let's look at their schedule. Because they're not going to reach. The thing that I'm thinking is either the Golden State Warriors can get into that 5th seed and the Clippers fall out of the actual playoffs and get in that play-in, and then they could jump into that. They could jump the Clippers. Or they're going to jump the Warriors and the Warriors fall out. So, and with the Clippers, I think this is the most compelling case because Paul George and Kawhi Leonard being hurt, it's just tough to see for this last final stretch. What are they going to do? Kawhi Leonard played first half last night, but he couldn't, he didn't stay in for the second half. So that was kind of concerning. Even with Paul George not playing, didn't even think Kawhi was going to play. But now, looking at their schedule, who do they have ahead? They got Denver. They got OKC. They got Sacramento. Portland is really the only game that I believe they should win comfortably. Sacramento, I believe Sacramento makes a great case to win this game, even though it doesn't mean as much for Sacramento. So are they resting guys, or are they still trying to, make a way and just try to get ahead of Memphis in that 2nd seed? But Denver, Jokic didn't play last night. I don't even think Jamal Murray played last night. Aaron Gordon was their leading scorer in their game last night. So what does this game mean for Denver? You can probably think that either way, it's going to be a good game, but I think you can probably think that Golden State makes a compelling case to win a game like this, honestly. Oklahoma City, I think they're going to play hard. They got those young guys. They got Shea, Josh Giddey. I think they're going to play extremely hard in a game like this, and it's just not easy. So, also, I want to look at the Clippers schedule because, like I said, those guys aren't even healthy. So, we really don't know what we're going to get. Now, as I get into this, where the Clippers at? Okay, Clippers. Now, let's look at their schedule. Who do they have left? They got New Orleans. I think that's a win. And that Clippers versus Los Angeles Lakers game, it's on ESPN. It's 10 o'clock. Everybody's going to be tuned in. It matters. It matters the most out of any game. I think Phoenix having KD, that's a couple games removed from that injury. I think Phoenix is going to win that game. Phoenix is a pretty solid team. It's all about staying healthy for them. And Portland, like I said, that's the gimme. So really what you want to do is Los Angeles wants to win out. If this is if they want to get that 6th seed and play a team like Sacramento. They want to win out. They want to beat the Clippers, and the Golden State Warriors kind of control the fate of themselves and of the Lakers. So that's interesting to look at. And now I think it's nice because, like you see right here, this is the play-in tournament. These are the current scenarios. Their current first round matchup is the Pelicans if it was a play-in. This is if the NBA ended today. And then we got the Clippers. They clinched their matchup. So like I said, the Warriors control their fate, and the Lakers, they still need to win this game. So, clinched against New Orleans, and they clinched against OKC as well. So that's important to note. This is a nice scenario that we have coming up for this team. I don't know what the ceiling is because, like I said, I need to see these next few games. But right now, this is a good slate. You're in a good position. I think I would say you have about a 60% shot of controlling your fate. You got an outside shot at getting into the 6th seed. A solid win last night, even with LeBron not putting forth his best shooting night. D'Angelo Russell not having a big game. So I think these guys come back. Darvin Ham, they practice. They go over some things. This, like I said, it's the scariest team because it's all optimism. We're all optimistic about what we're going to get. But if we get what we're thinking we can get, this team, watch out for the Lakers.